Welcome to Church History. I'm your host, Laura Lee Siemens. This is our summer season. I'm telling the stories of our great hymns. This podcast tells the story of the church in chronological order. We started with the story of Jesus, and we have traveled through history into the 1800s. For this summer, we're going to tell the story of the church in chronological order through our great hymns. So, enjoy this summer season. Welcome back to our final episode in this summer series on the Church History podcast, where we are looking at our story of our hymns. And we're going to be back next week. We're looking at going back to our regular episodes. So I hope you've really enjoyed this summer series. Today, we are looking at the life of one of the hymn writers who really shaped Christian worship for a generation. We're exploring the life of Thomas Chisholm. Thomas was born on July 29th, 1866, in a log cabin near Franklin, Kentucky. To understand his early life, we must first picture what life was like in this rural Kentucky in the mid-19th century. In 1866, the Civil War had just ended, leaving the country in this state of reconstruction and healing. Kentucky was a border state during the war, so you can imagine what life would have been like for Thomas as a little child. There would have been a lot of unrest in that area. For most children in rural Kentucky, life involved around family farms and local communities. Education was considered a luxury and was often interrupted by the demands of farm work and household chores. But children learned basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, either at home or in a one-room schoolhouse. From a young age, Thomas was recognized as being highly intelligent and ambitious. Even though he did not have any formal education himself, Thomas became a schoolteacher at the age of 16. Imagine young Thomas standing in front of a one-room schoolhouse, a modest wooden building surrounded by fields. Inside, the room is filled with children of various ages. Thomas, only 16, has the job of teaching these eager minds. Despite his youth, Thomas is confident. In this one-room schoolhouse, Thomas had to be resourceful and patient. He would have taught multiple grade levels all at the same time, moving from one group of students to another, each working on different lessons. Discipline was strict, but there was a sense of friendship among the students, who often helped each other with their studies. Though he was a dedicated teacher, Thomas felt himself pulled into a new path. At age 21, he left teaching to work for his hometown newspaper. First, he was an associate editor. His amazing intellect and ability to articulate his thoughts made him a natural fit for journalism, and he soon found success in his new role. However, even though he thrived professionally, Thomas felt there was a void in his life. He wanted something deeper, and he wanted something with more meaning. And he found that at the age of 27. In 1893, he attended a revival meeting that was led by Henry Clay Morrison, who was the founder of Asbury College and Seminary in Kentucky. It was during this meeting that Thomas felt the unmistakable call of God and became a follower of Jesus Christ. This moment was the turning point in his life, and it marked the beginning of his journey as a servant of God. Henry Clay Morrison recognized Thomas' talent and potential and asked him to move to Louisville and become the editor of the Pentecostal Herald. Thomas embraced this new role with enthusiasm, using his potential to spread the gospel through the written word. His work at the newspaper further fueled his desire to serve God, leading him to pursue being ordained as a Methodist minister in 1903. As a newly ordained minister, Thomas was assigned to a small congregation in Scottsville, Kentucky. He also started a family around this time when he married a young woman named Catherine in 1903. Together they had 2 daughters. Thomas envisioned a future dedicated to preaching and pastoral care. However, his path took an unexpected turn when his health began to decline. By 1909, just 6 years into his ministry, Thomas's health had deteriorated to the point where he could no longer fulfill his duties as a minister. The strain of his illness, coupled with the financial burden of medical bills, forced him to leave his congregation. This was a challenging time for Thomas and his family, a period that could easily lead to bitterness and despair. But Thomas would not become bitter or despair. Rather than succumb to the frustration, he decided he was going to focus on any blessing he had in his life. He had a loving family, he had the support of friends, and he had unshakable faith in God's goodness. With more time on his hands, he began to write hymns, channeling his experience and emotions into poetry that reflected his deep trust in God's faithfulness. In 1923, during a quiet time of reflection, Thomas penned what would become his most famous hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness." This was inspired by Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 23, which speaks of God's unfailing mercies and compassion. Thomas wrote the poem as a testament to his belief in God's steadfast love and unwavering faithfulness, despite the challenges that he had faced. He sent the poem to his friend, Reverend William Ryan, who was a musician at Moody Bible Institute, which we have talked about in past episodes, and he was also an editor at Hope Publishing Company in Chicago. Upon reading Thomas's words, Ryan felt immediate connection to the poem's message and prayed fervently for God to reveal a tune worthy of such profound lyrics. And with divine inspiration, he composed a melody that beautifully complemented the text, and the hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," was born. "Great is Thy Faithfulness" became a favorite among the staff and students at Moody Bible Institute, where it was embraced as their unofficial hymn. The song's popularity spread slowly at first, but it gained significant momentum in the 1950s when evangelist Billy Graham began using it in his crusades. Through Graham's ministry, the hymn reached millions of people, becoming the beloved anthem of God's enduring faithfulness. Despite facing numerous hardships throughout his life, Thomas never wavered in his belief in God's goodness. His positive outlook and unwavering trust in divine providence shone through in every single hymn that he wrote. Over the course of his life, he composed nearly 1,200 poems. Many were set to music and published as hymns. Thomas spent his later years in New Jersey, working as a life insurance agent in order to support his family. Even in this modest profession, he found ways to glorify God, using his poetic talents to uplift others and sharing the message of God's faithfulness. His hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," remains a timeless reminder of God's unchanging nature, which resonates with worshipers all across the world. Thomas's life is a testament to the power of faith. Despite facing illness, financial hardships, numerous setbacks, he remained steadfast in his belief that God's mercies are new every morning. His hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," has become the cornerstone of Christian worship, reminding us all of the unwavering love and faithfulness of our Creator. We're going to end today's episode with the worship circle singing this hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness." And this is a congregation singing. And if you want to learn more about how you can be part of Worship Circle, check out the links that's below, and you can actually go and be part of this circle. So it's pretty cool. Hope you enjoy this episode.
And
Thank you for listening to today's episode on the history of the hymns. We will be returning to our regular church history podcast in September. If you want to hear more podcasts, check out my website, lauraleesiemens.com. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and share these stories with your friends. We'll see you next week.